My name is Renee. I run operations for a restaurant group across 4 locations in Nashville. So when my parents called after 3 years of silence and invited me to make amends over dinner, I should have asked one question first. Who else is at that table? I didn't ask. I drove to the Ashworth, walked in and found 16 relatives already seated around lobster tails, Wagyu steaks, and a $400 bottle of wine they'd started pouring before I even parked. My father looked up and said the 5 words I'd spent my whole life earning. "You're paying, right? You owe us that much." He had no idea what his own credit card was about to tell the entire family 15 minutes later. I built my career from bussing tables at 17 to regional operations director by 30. I'm not rich. Paid off condo, untouched retirement account, 1 indulgence, sparkling water when I eat out. When you grow up paying for everyone else's dinner, you learn to keep your own tab small enough to walk away from. 3 years earlier, my sister Paige wanted $75,000 to open a cafe with no business plan. My parents demanded I co-sign. I asked to see her numbers. She had none. My father stood up and said, "If you won't help this family, you're not part of it." I was removed from the family group chat that same night. For 3 years, nobody called. Then my mother's message appeared out of nowhere. Just the 4 of us, a fresh start. Family takes care of family, sweetheart. She'd used that phrase my whole life, always right before asking me to write a check. I said yes anyway. Partly hope, partly curiosity about whether anything had changed. It hadn't. The private dining room held 16 chairs, all full but mine. My father had already put his card down to hold the table. The hostess mentioned it in passing, which told me everything before I even sat down. My mother greeted me with applause like I was a returning soldier. Aunt Denise sighed about some of us clipping coupons. My sister Paige, 3 glasses of wine in, said flatly, "We ordered the good stuff since you're treating." I excused myself to the restroom to breathe. Paige had left her phone on the counter, screen lit, showing a group chat called Dinner Plan. Just my parents and her. I read messages going back 3 weeks. "Don't tell Renee it's everyone. Once she's there with the whole family watching, she won't dare say no. Order the good stuff before she gets there. Once it's on the table, she can't send it back." And from 10 days earlier, "Renee can cover us through spring. She's got more than enough." I wasn't invited to make amends. I was invited to fund a bailout I hadn't been told about. I walked back to the table calm and started asking casual questions. The cafe had closed after 11 months. My father's contracting business was between projects. Every answer confirmed what I'd just read. They were drowning, and I was the plan. When dessert arrived, my father folded his hands and delivered the line. "You're paying, right? You owe us that much." 16 people heard it. The waiter, Nathan, heard it too. I stood, walked to the floor manager, and said 2 sentences. "I'm not the host, and I won't be covering this table. Please bring the full check to the gentleman whose card is on file." Then I paid for my own sparkling water separately, added a generous tip for the staff, and walked back to sit through dessert like nothing had happened. 10 minutes later, Nathan placed the check directly in front of my father. His smile flickered, then held. He pulled out his card with a practiced flourish, still performing for the table. It came back declined. He tried a second card. Declined. A third. Declined. 16 people sat in total silence watching my father's confidence collapse, card by card. "What did you do?" he demanded. "I didn't do anything, Dad. Your card was declined. That's between you and your bank." My mother started crying, loud and performative. "After everything we've done for you, what did you do for me in the last 3 years?" I asked. No one answered. My father's voice finally cracked into something raw. "Renee, please, we're drowning." For 1 second, I saw the real fear behind it. Then he added, "And you'd let us." still reaching for my wallet instead of my hand. That's when the ache in my chest stopped completely. I stood up. "I'm sorry you're struggling. I mean that. If you want real help, I'll sit down with a financial counselor with you. No tricks, no audience, no lobster. But I'm not paying this bill. I didn't order it. I don't owe you. I never did." I walked out past the hostess stand, thanked Nathan quietly, and sat in my car reading the sticky note on my steering wheel. One dinner, then home. I opened the family group chat, watched the messages flood in, and tapped Leave Group without reading a single one. Months later, I learned the rest secondhand. The business had folded over a year before that dinner. The house went up for sale. They moved into a smaller rental. None of it was mine to fix. I called my father once and offered to sit down with a financial counselor. He hung up. The offer still stands. I learned the most expensive thing you can buy is other people's comfort with your silence. The night I stopped paying for it was the night I finally got rich. If you've ever been the family bank, tell me in the comments. Would you have paid that bill?